Hello everyone, welcome to another live average angler match. Today we're at Shiplate on a silvers only. It's a league, first round. I've drawn peg 15. Sections of 5, points based, but obviously there's payout on the day. What have I got set up? I've got a line just at past 13 metres. And that is going to be fed heavily with ground bait, Tom Thick's green intelligence. And then the same depth coming back about halfway back to me, so sort of 8 metres, maybe 9 metres. I'm going to put some of the neat worm in it, some of this neat worm that we just looked at there, neat worm with caster. I'm not going to put any ground bait on this line in case the fish don't want it. And then I'm also going to have one more line just short, feeding out of hand. So I'll start here. Obviously I'll feed the longer lines and I'll start here and then I'll decide what I'm going to do from there. So it's just a case of having 3 lines and just trying to work out what the fish want and where the fish want to be. Let's see how we get on. Right, there's the all-in just sounded. Just check the camera's all plugged in properly. I'm going to start off by putting positive-ish blob of neat worm on that worm line, because I feel like that might be my second place I visit next after I can't catch short. Straight out in front of me, lining up with a guy opposite me's keep nets. I've just realised I ain't actually put my keep nets in, so I'll do that in a second. I only need one because it's £50 nettle in it, and can't imagine that I'm going to need any more than one. And then on the longer line, just putting it in big pots. Tom's green swim stim. I'm putting in big pots of Tom's green intelligence, not swim stim. That's a totally different brand. Sadly, this peg's not got a lot of room behind it, so there's a lot of double shipping going on. This is going to be a slow process getting 4 balls out there, and I've gone too far. So what I'll do is I want to feed on this joint, and I've got the option to, go past or fish around the bait or whatever I need to do to get these fish to have it. Sometimes you have to go past, sometimes you have to, fish for one side if there's a tow. There's always, you need to give yourself options when you silverfish fish. It's never always just straightforward, the fish just turn up and you empty it. We'll be catapulting some caster over this line throughout the day, and I will put some caster in via a pot at the end as well. Probably put half a pot of caster in, just to be nice and positive. A lot of people are straight out fishing, looking around. Not everybody's, feeding a bigger area like me, or an aggressive area. Or people are just straight out having a fish. So always put the ground bait in on these commercial fisheries if I can, if it's really, really, really deep, which it's not here. And I'll just put it in like the sandcastle approach. And the theory is that the ground bait's very wetted, so it'll sink, but it doesn't bury into the silt like a ball. A hard ball could, in theory, if the silt's soft, just go straight into the silt, and then you've already got half a ball under the silt, and doesn't necessarily mean there's, the fish have got access to it. Now I'm feeding it quite aggressively because I don't intend to go on it for at least an hour. But sometimes the fish can be there earlier. Sometimes I might get forced on it if I can't catch on any other lines. And I'm not putting the balls down the same hole. This one's just gone a foot or so to the right of the first one, and the last one went a foot or so to the left of the first one. Just creating an area that the fish can graze over. So I'll come out of the ground. There we are. You've got to remember with these fishes, with this ground bait, it's fine. There's not a lot of food particles in it. So you just want to have some attraction in the area to give the fish a reason just to be there. Lots of nice flavours from all the pellets and things that are in it. I don't know what's in it because it's not my recipe, it's Tom's. I'm pretty sure if it's got green on it, it's normally got spirulina, which is like a seaweed additive used to make things green. Which is I'm told is full of amino acids, which fish like apparently. All this is information that other people have told me. I don't know any of this for a fact. I'm just going to go a little tiny bit further. A couple of feet past on this one. So that'll be the fourth one gone in. And get it to come out. I packed it in a bit tight that time, I think. Sure he's out. Not worried if it's spreading it. That's kind of what I want. As long as it's not drifting out the swim, but I have no reason to believe that. And then we'll start off with like half a cup of casters, just to give some feed for some fish to get their heads down on. Anything is in the swim looking for some bait, you can hold them right where we're going to put the rig in when we eventually get out there. So it's a long-winded process. It's taken me 6 or 7 minutes to do this, but 5 hours, 6 or 7 minutes is insignificant. I'm just moving my hand around a little bit so that I've not put the casters all down one hole. There are carp in here. Carp could just come along into the swim, eat the old pile, and I've got no bait in my swim. I have drawn a bit of a carp nest, so who knows what's going to happen. There you are. I finished my initial feeding. I'm going to put my keep net in, turn you guys off, catch you up when something happens later on. Right guys, we're nearly an hour in. I came short. I started on a short line. I had a couple of roach and it was really, really slow. So I thought I'd go over the worm line after sort of 15 minutes, and it went straight under with the caster on. And I had 2 or 3 quick skimmers, small ones, not big one, not, you know, nothing exciting, but 2 or 3 little skimmers, which was like a nice start. And then it got a bit harder, and then I topped it up and had a couple more. But slowly it's just getting better with the worm. So it's on the worm line at short. That's how I'm catching them. Hopefully I'll see if I can catch you one now. Or skimmer or roach. Some roach and some small fish in between as well. Some really small fish. They're all small fish so far, but there's some really small fish as well. So we thought we'd catch. Put a little worm head on. A little bit of worm. Seems to be getting me bites much quicker than a caster does today. Goes to the camera, but I won't get a bite now. So I've had 10 fish, but none of them, not all been skimmers. I've had a lot, probably 5 skimmers and 5 roach, and the skimmers are not big, nor are the roach, to be fair. Wind's just dropped a little bit. Still pinging bait over that far line every now and again, still chucking bait on the short line every now and again. Has Joe got a bait on still? Yeah. I've put a slightly bigger bit of worm on this time, maybe that's what's putting them off. Keep feeding that short line. I'm pinging on that long line. Trying to collect some fish out on that longer line. Oh, missed that one there. What was there? That's going to just tangle up, I think. Yeah, it's quite a quite a bit longer bit of worm that is. Let's go back to a short little fat piece, which is what seemed to be working quite well for me. Short little fat pieces. Definitely better than long, thin pieces today. Well, we'll find out in a minute if that's what it was, but I mean, I did get a bite on that longer piece. That might be why I missed it, if something's grabbed the end of it. So some very small fish in here as well, so I'm just, every time I ship in, I'm just feeding that long line, short line, feeding that long line. By the time all that's done, the rig's settled and hopefully we're ready for a bite. That's what's been happening, but as soon as I put the cameras on, the wind's just dropped off a bit. That's exactly what's happening. That's what's happening. It's a very small fish. Oh, it's a little gudgeon, I think. Oh no, it's a little it's a little Tommy Ruff. Quite rare little things these are, but there are a few fisheries around the area. Is he picking it up on the camera there? That camera there. Oops, and he's gone back in now. That was stupid, wasn't it? There we are. Don't do that at home. Dropped a little Tommy Ruff back in. Put some more bait in. That's not a good sign, to be fair. Catching Tommy Ruff on it. So maybe they've cleaned out the bait. Feed the short line. Ship out. This has been the routine, and I have been trying to catch 3 fish, whatever size they are. Just 3 fish on a feed, on this line. On this line, 3 fish on a pot of worms, if you like, or a little kinder pot of worms. Ship out, feed the short line, ship out, feed the long line. Wait for a bite. And I've been getting bites pretty quickly, and then just shipping back, doing that 3 times and feeding again. It's just, I don't know if it's the wind that's affected it. The wind stopped a little bit, or whether I was overfeeding it. Little touch there, and the float. And again, and again. Oh, there's something there with really small indications. Letting it tow through a little bit now, so it keeps the rig nice and tight. So whenever I see the bites better, there they are. Loads of fish there, they're just tiny at the minute. What we got this time? A little swingable roach. I'm clicking because he actually went in the net for a change. Tommy Ruff that went back. I'm going to re-hook that. In fact, I'm going to give myself a fresh bit of worm that'll have nice, more juicy. I'm going to try castor again. I had a bite when the skimmers were there. They were taking the castor. So let's try the castor again. So back into my routine. Pinch a bait on that line. Ship out. Lay the rig in the right way for the tow to be sort of dragging it through. Everything to be nice and tight. Little pinch on the long line. Fish. I'm looking after all my lines and, you know, seeing what I can do. Letting it tow through again. The wind's picked up again now, so maybe we'll start getting some bites again. Yeah, we had a bite on the castor. Still a small fish. Seems to be just about as quick as the... About as quick as the... worm. I'm going to give it a feed, I think. I'm positive, there's a lot of fish there, so they're eating it. Trying to get something better in. might have a look at that long line in a minute. So that's the update done. Catch you in a bit. We've had to skip the 2-hour update because the weather was just too bad to do. You know, it was alright to fish in, but it weren't good for the camera equipment, which is probably why I'm in a slightly different position to what I was last time, so I just had to get the phone back out again. So, still carrying on the same vein, I'm just nicking odd fish from here and there. I've gone out long I've tried on the long line with maggot. I've nicked a couple of better skimmers, but they're still not massive, they're still not really good skimmers, they're still small fish. I've topped that back up with a ball of ground bait now. Just left it for a bit. I've had another skimmer over it when I did go out there. I'm still feeding the short line, I'm still putting worms in on the middle line. I'm fishing the middle line at the moment, just with a nice sized piece of worm head on, because I'm finding if I put small bits of worm on, I'm getting tiny little fish. So I'm just looking at whether or not I need to try and single out a better fish with a bigger bait. Also with the wind blowing, I feel like a slightly bigger bait might just sit a bit better, like it won't get dragged through the swim so easy, so it might just present better. Something just giving me little indications on it at the moment. Could be small fish, could just be liners. The bigger bit of worm, I'm just waiting for that more positive indication, because small fish just grabbing at the end of it all the time will drive you mad to keep trying to strike it. Don't get a bite on this line in a minute. I'm just going to put the extra sections on with the worm on and just try the worm over where I've put the ground bait and loose fed the casters. A bit longer. I've had an eel, small one. The swim's definitely gone quieter. And it's a wonder what's going on at the moment, because I don't know what to do to get a bite now. I think if I put little tiny bits of bait on, I can catch little fish, and I might just have to get my head round and plough through them. Just keep fishing, and if the better fish turn up, they turn up. Might be the only way to go. I've clicked 21 fish on my clicker, but I know I've caught more than that because I've not been religiously clicking them. But a lot of the fish are tiny, you've seen them, so you know, counting them all would be stupid. Here comes a bit of heavy rain again, so I might have to turn it all off. Right, I'm going to call this the end of the 2.5 hour update because the weather's going to trash everything, and I'll catch you in a bit. We've got about 50 minutes left. Just had to put the phone away again because it's raining again, but still really haven't been able to sort of sort anything out proper. Kind of finding that I have to take a fish or two on this longer line and top it up, come short, take a fish or two on the shorter line, top it up, and it just seems to be like that. I mean, you can't stay on a line and catch any amount of fish on it. It just doesn't seem to want to work like that today. Bites are very delicate on both lines. Just looking for an arrival really of some description of some sort of, you know, better stamped fish would be nice somewhere, but at the moment it's just small skimmers and lots of little tiny roach. I don't think the venue's fishing very well, so I'm probably not doing too badly. You just don't know. The guy opposite over there, they're catching odd fish, just had a carp, but he's you know, I can see him just sitting there like he's in, you know, on his summer holidays while my pole's like blowing around all over the place in the wind. So he's definitely got a totally different environment over there. He's not in my section anyway, so I ain't got to worry too much. You know, I'll just try to keep fish coming in to the net. Here's just another little, you know, just another little one. Don't want to come on up to you, don't. There we are. I found maggot works best on the longer line. even though I've not fed any maggot out there. And along the line, I'll just put in just loose feeding casters, and putting a ball of ground bait every now and again with a pot of casters down to try to consolidate the fish right where I'm fishing. It seems to bring a few skimmers back in when I put a bit of ground bait in, but it don't last. You know, like just before I turned the cameras on, I'd just gone onto this line for the first time after I'd given it a rest for a few minutes on the shorter line. And the float literally settled, buried, had a skimmer. And you think, oh, that's what we want, and then you go back out there and you can't get a bite. And you wait ages, and then you just get a little tiny fish like that one. Doesn't make any sense. I've messed about with worms and casters and all sorts on the hook, but maggot seems to be the best. If the skimmers are there, you're catching them anyway, and you just get more bites. I'm going to top this line up now, and I'm going to fish straight over the top of it. I've not done that yet. Little lift bite there then. Small fish or indications going on at the moment. Quite hard to know what's a bite and what's not with a wind. Let's try that. Let's just put a little ball. I want to put a little nugget of ground bait in, smaller than I would normally. I'm going to put some casters in. I'm going to fish the maggot straight over the top of it. Let's see what we get. It took a while. I just caught the best fish we've had today by an absolute country mile. It's just coming short on that worm line. Hopefully there's another one there. We'll see. Some fish, it's not the massive fish that I was looking for. Well, just keep ticking them over, putting them in. That's all we can do today. It's been one of them days. I'm going to try on a short line quickly. Put a bit of worm out on that long line now, so maybe we can nick something from out there, but it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of fish.